Hopefully, oh my goodness. So I don't know if you can hear that trumpet in the background, but I'm trying to do this video and it's not gonna sound very good if there's a big ass trumpet in the background, so. Hey, so I don't know if I'm gonna include the clip of me trying to talk, but I was trying to give the summary outside of the arena, but I forgot that there is a trumpet player that plays right outside the gates where everyone's walking out. Obviously, they're trying to get some extra money, but it was really loud, and I couldn't do it, even though I don't want to do it in my car, but maybe that'll help. Anyways, this was a much more exciting game than the score would indicate. The first period started off pretty strong. Five minutes in, Musser gets a goal. It's a clean goal. Everything is fine. I was a little worried. It took, I think, about 10 minutes for another goal to get scored. In between the two goals that I'm talking about, Kennedy manages to get into a fight with somebody. I don't usually record fights. I don't usually record penalties, but this was a pretty interesting fight. I actually didn't realize what was happening at first until I was looking at center ice, and I saw gloves pop into my field of view, and I'm like, oh crap, okay. I look over to my left, and I see Kennedy in a fist fight with one of the Thunder, and they're going back and forth, and I don't get really excited unless somebody gets knocked down to the ice, and Kennedy managed to do that. He managed to knock the other player down onto the ice. Obviously, both of them go into the penalty box, but that whole crowd was cheering so loud, including me. It was awesome. At about the 14-minute mark into the first period, Timofeyev is racing down the ice. The Admirals have the puck. They got it on their end of the ice, and so they're rushing back and forth. Some idiot got in front of Timofeyev and lived to regret it, because Timofeyev runs into him in a way that makes him flip in the air and slam onto the ice. I've never seen something like that in person. It was glorious, and the reason it was so glorious is because that momentum that caused that is the exact same momentum that got Admirals another goal, and so it became a 2-0 or 0-2 game with the Admirals up by 2. And that was the last goal for the first period. The second period starts, and 5 minutes into it, Wheeler gets a goal. Wheeler of the Thunder. And so, okay. The first period was the Admirals period. I guess the second period would soon become the Thunder's period, because not even, what would it have been, 8 minutes later, Wheeler, yes, again, that Wheeler, gets another goal. He single-handedly managed to tie up the game. And now the crowd is so mad. The crowd is so mad. It was starting off so well, and then Wheeler single-handedly manages to get the game tied. 6 minutes later, not Wheeler this time, but Bertuzzi of the Thunder gets another goal, and okay, now the Admirals are behind. It is, there's a lot less cheering in the crowd, obviously, because we are single-handedly watching probably the worst single period of the Admiral season so far. Now, keep in mind, this is only game 2, but still, pretty bad period. That's where we end the period, with the Admirals down by 1. It's now 2-3. Finally, the third period. We actually go most of the third period without any goals. There were a few really close ones, but Smith of the Thunder gets another goal. And this is at the 14-minute mark. So now the Admirals, in the span of about 20 in-game regulation minutes, went from up by 2 to down by 2. This is not good. But wait, it gets worse. The Thunder, at about the 15-minute mark, so about 30 seconds after Smith's goal, get a penalty. I think it's a tripping penalty. And so, the Admirals go on power play. About a minute into that power play, the Thunder get another penalty. And so, for the first time, it becomes a 5-3, 5 for the Admirals and 3 men on ice for the Thunder. And, hey, the Admirals are behind. They take the goalie out of the goal. And if you know me, if you've been watching these videos, you know how much I don't like when my teams take the goalie out, because it rarely ever works out in their favor. And, yeah, that's what happens during a 6-3. You know how unlikely it is to get, 6 men on the ice versus 3? And yet, the Thunder get an empty netter. It's by Polino at the 16:30 mark. And, okay. Now, the score is, I believe at this point it would be 5-2. 5 for the Thunder and 2 for the Admirals. People start leaving, and I don't blame them. There's about 3.5 minutes left in the game, but yet you gotta stay there. I had to stay there. I was like, I have to be here. I have to watch the team go down into the ship. Stay on board. And hey, Kennedy, yeah, that Kennedy. Ugh, Kennedy, wow. Kennedy from before, the one that got into that fight and knocked down the Thunder guy, yeah, he gets a goal. Oh my goodness, awesome. It's his first goal as a Norfolk Admiral. Very happy for him, very glad. And now the game is 3-6. Yeah, this happens at about the 17-minute mark, 17 and a half. I don't keep track of the halves, but yeah, maybe they can come back for me for goal deficit. It was 5-3 at this point. It doesn't get to 6-3 until the Thunder get another empty netter. Yeah, that's right. The Admirals took the goalie out again, obviously out of desperation, but they took him out again, and now the game is what the final score ended up being, which is 6-3. 6-3. So, 2 of those were empty netters. 2 of them were by Wheeler of the Thunder, and the other 2 were, one of them was, well, now I'm losing track of my head. Anyways, it was pretty exciting for most of the game, but that last period was I know I just said that the second period was the worst period. No, this might have been the worst period. Single-handedly. The worst. Because they, yeah, that last period was the one that sank them. Kind of sucked butt, but, you know, what are you going to do? Also, I wore the Tampa Bay Lightning black jersey that I own. Well, the one that actually, you know, whatever. It turns out, and this is a little bit of fun fact, I didn't actually look up what time the Tampa Bay Lightning played Ottawa today. I just assumed it was going to be at 7 o'clock like the last 3 games. No, it was at 1 p.m. So I totally could have watched that game. Now, Tampa lost that game, so maybe I got out of it a little bit better, because I didn't actually have to watch Tampa lose their first game of the season, but or their first loss of the season. I still would have rather watched that game. It seemed like it was pretty exciting. The final score was 4-5. Tampa got 4 goals, and obviously the Senators got 5. But yeah, from now on, I'm gonna look up what time these games are starting, because I was mad. I found out at about the beginning of the third period of this game, because I went to go look up what the score was, and I realized that the game had happened about like 8 hours ago. So not that great. I need to get home. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. You know, let me know what you think of the game down below. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.